How dare you? You built a new house for all of us without even consulting me. Well, you can forget about us moving in with you. We're not going to live under your roof.
What?
You're such a clueless mother-in-law. You never listen to me when I say I don't want to live with you. You just go ahead and make a house for everyone. Do you think that will make me give in? No way.
Annabelle, you're misunderstanding something. This house is not for you.
What?
We're going to live with my second son and his wife. That's why we renovated our house to make it bigger and better. We didn't need a bigger house for all of us, but we wanted a house where we could have some privacy. So we built a new and amazing house.
What? So you're just going to ignore your eldest son and his wife and live with your second son instead?
Ignore you? You're the one who said you never wanted to live with us, remember? So why are you making such a fuss about this?
I know that, but...
And to be honest, I don't want you to live with us either. You can relax now that you don't have to worry about us.
How rude!
I'm sorry, but you never liked me. You and my son never came home for the holidays, but you had the nerve to ask us for $1,000 for your kid's Christmas gift. I'm sorry, but I don't want to live with you.
Well, I'm sorry for you, Laura, that you think your eldest son and his wife have to visit you every holiday. Because we don't. But you should realize that we have a daughter who is your granddaughter, and it's your job as grandparents to spoil her and make her happy.
And that's why we come to see her often. We don't get to see you when the rest of the family is here, so we try to make up for that by visiting you. But you only let us stay for 10 minutes before you kick us out. How can we make her happy if you don't let us spend time with her? Your father-in-law and I are fed up with the way you treat us.
Why are you talking back to me? This is why I hate you as my mother-in-law. Poor Olive, having to live with a woman who will bully her every day.
Say whatever you want, Annabelle, but just know that this house is not for you. So calm down, and goodbye.
Laura, are you going to bully me like you bully Maddie? Is that what you want to do to me when I live with you?
What? No, of course not, Olive. And what do you mean? I don't bully Maddie. I bully Annabelle.
Well, she just called me and sent me a huge file on my phone. She said it was proof that you have been harassing her. She told me to look at it and change my mind about living with you.
A huge file? She wasted her data for nothing?
I glanced at it, but I don't believe what she says. Still, some things bothered me a little, so I have to ask. Are you going to treat me like you treat her?
I'm telling you, I have no reason to do that to you. Why would I ever be mean to you when we're finally going to live together?
That's what I thought. And when I think of you, I only think of good things. But is Annabelle really that crazy? I wonder because she seems to hate you so much. What did you do to make her so angry?
Nothing, really. I think she just has a problem with me for being her mother-in-law.
She hates you for no reason?
Well, you know how it is. You hear stories all the time about mothers and daughters-in-law not getting along. And I think she thinks I'm like that. That's why she's so hostile to me. She thinks I'm out to get her, but she's the wife of my eldest son. He should have stopped her from thinking like that.
Wow, so that's the only reason she's mad at you all the time?
Well, when I asked my son about it, he said that a lot of her friends had bad experiences with their mothers-in-law. And so, I guess she expects the same from me? I really want to be close to her, but she never gives me a chance. She used to be nice to me, but then she started accusing me of bullying her.
Wow, that's such a waste of a happy family. I think you're the best mother-in-law a woman could ask for. I guess she just likes to cause trouble, right?
You're so sweet to say that after talking to Maddie. That makes me so happy. But you don't have to be so nice to me.
But I'm not just saying that to please you. I was a little nervous about having in-laws, but you've been so kind to me. I don't feel any stress around you.
Well, I'll do my best to keep you comfortable in our family. I know there will be some tension when we live together, but That's normal.
Well, that's how it is, right? But please don't worry about us too much and just relax. We'll all work hard to make living together fun.
That house looks even more beautiful than I was imagining. All of the yard and everything looking so perfect as well. Could that be because you have Olive around to help? If she's the kind of girl who loves making the house look beautiful, she and I could become even closer to one another, huh?
Annabelle, you're complimenting our yard and house. Does that mean you've come over to see the new house?
I have. And I came all the way here on an airplane. I heard from Trevor that you guys had completed the house just yesterday.
And that's nice. And all of you have come so far to see us. But we haven't even begun to move into there just yet, and just coming over without mentioning anything to us is a bit rude. That place isn't the house we used to live in, as it's now become the home of my second oldest in the US.
No, actually starting today, we plan to live here as well. And that shouldn't be a problem for you at all, right, Laura?
Excuse me? Does that mean that after all this time you finally want to live with us?
Seriously, this has nothing to do with me wanting to live together with some jerk of a mother-in-law. Starting today, the oldest brother and his wife will live together with his youngest brother and wife. Both you and your husband can go ahead and rent a small apartment nearby.
Huh? And why exactly do my husband and I have to be the ones to leave the new house? We built that place specifically for us and my second oldest. What is wrong with you coming here unannounced and telling us to get out of there? I do not like that you're acting this sporadic.
I'm not being sporadic in any way, Laura. I'm just doing exactly as I want. Actually, don't you think my plan is pretty dang smart of me? The older and younger brothers live together under one roof with their wives. Doing it that way would mean that we can all support one another and bundle our earnings together.
What?
I made sure a while back to advise Olive to rethink living together with her in-laws, but I'm not sure if she understood what I meant and said that she was totally fine living with you. She never wanted to live together with you guys, yet kept it a secret and tried her best to fake the want to.
And that's probably just what you want to believe. She and I have talked about this at least a dozen times, and each time she's been so happy over the idea of living together.
Well, unfortunately for you, she was just trying to be nice to you, since you're her mother-in-law. But she knows well enough that living with us both instead of you guys is far more stress-free and fun. Unlike an old bag, she and I are closer in age, so we won't have to worry about differences in the way we think. And I know she will be much happier to live like that instead of having to worry about you.
But you still don't know that right now. I've had enough of talking. So hurry up and get out of the house. I'm telling you right now that I'm almost past my limit here.
Stop all of that. Laura, don't be upset that you'll no longer have a daughter-in-law to bully anymore.
Huh?
That's right. I was going to let you know about this sooner or later, but I still expect you to be the one to pay off the loan on the house for us. Understand that neither of us or your second oldest and his wife will pay a dime for the place.
Excuse me, not only are you saying that you'll steal that house, but you want me to pay for it? All on my own?
But we're being kind by just letting you and your husband live nearby to your sons and their wives, right? And so, a way of saying thanks. You should pay off that loan for us. Now, if anything were to happen to either one of you, you can run over to us to take care of you.
Then let me ask this. If I were to be in trouble, would you guys actually try and help me? My husband and I have gotten a lot older, and so our legs are not as great as they used to be. We already have to go to the hospital at least once a month for checkups and such. Does this mean that you'd be willing to stop by at least once a month to take us in?
Huh? Why the hell would I ever do such meaningless crap? If you have such bothersome crap like that, then you're better off asking Olive to take care of you.
Huh?
And if she says no to you, ask your second oldest. And if he says no, ask your oldest. And if we are all saying no, ask someone who lives close by to you. And if all of them say no to you, then maybe, just maybe, I'll be willing to come help you out.
So, in other words, you won't help us. Why do you keep beating around the bush so much about the truth, Annabelle? I don't have any more patience with you. Hurry up and leave our house. I'm not going to give that house we worked so hard on to the both of you.
Why say all of those awful things when I've already said that we're living here and that's final? If you think that you can continue to get away with picking on me, then I might just happen to divorce your son. Is that what you want from me?
Huh? You want to divorce him now?
With how far out in the countryside we live right now, me leaving him over. This would be an embarrassment to your whole family, especially after we already agreed that we'd be the ones living here with your second oldest and his wife. But after trying to be so nice about this, you've really hurt me with your words. Ugh, I might just leave him now. Then that would mean you would never get to meet your granddaughter ever again.
So, you think that's the best way to threaten us right now?
You're going to give this house to me and your oldest now, right? If you don't, I'll be divorcing your oh-so-important oldest son.
Right now, we're going to hand in the divorce papers.
Huh?
Thank goodness I was able to talk with Trevor so quickly. While I was talking with you on here, I decided to contact him about this. Apparently, he had no clue that you were trying to do such a thing with our house. He said he'd hurry up and handle everything for me now that he's aware that you've gone off the deep end. But before that happens, the divorce forms will be handed in.
Why the hell would you guys hand that stuff in?
Because we have all had enough of your crap, Annabelle. Even Trevor told me that he just can't deal with all your shenanigans anymore. He really told me that he'd never noticed how crazy you've been until now. He told me that he had already been preparing for the divorce as well.
But what's so crazy about someone like me? I was the one that came up with the genius idea to take the house from you and live together here with your second oldest and his wife. Ugh, if anything, I should be regarded as the intelligent one compared to all of you.
Someone that actually happens to be intelligent would never try to steal someone else's house from them. Just know that you have now gone and disrespected everyone in my family.
I have not disrespected anyone, including you. If anything, I've done my best to put up with you picking on me. Yet now you all act like Trevor and I need to be divorced.
I understand that you don't want to be bullied by your mother-in-law. When I married my husband, I had a lot of problems between his mom and I. But in your case, when you say you've tried your best, you've been wasting all your energy on nothing. Maybe it's time you settle down and realize that?
Huh? And how am I wasting my energy on trying to avoid your bullying? I wanted to make sure that I was far away from you so that I wouldn't have to be picked on anymore. And I'll continue to do that now. So I guess that you'll only see your grandbaby every couple of years now. I had done so well trying to let you live close to us and all.
Are you seriously saying that you did so well?
I am. If I let myself continue to be harassed by you, then I will have lost. That's why I am not going to let a divorce happen. After all the effort I've put in staying away from you, I'm betting that your second oldest and Olive would be happy to live with me and Trevor. I was so generous for thinking up a plan to make sure that they didn't have to live with a daughter-in-law abuser. So why can't you just understand what I've put so much of my intelligence into?
We're not happy at all about whatever plan you made. And actually, what about you? It's so amazing and smart.
Huh?
It's been a long time, Annabelle. I'm Olive. I have been sitting with Laurel looking at all your guys' conversations, and things seem to have gotten pretty wild.
Olive? So you've been with Laura this whole time, huh? Well, this is your chance right now. Tell her right now, with all your heart, that you've never wanted to live together with her, and let her know how much you've been wanting to live with us instead.
I want to live with Laura, though. Actually, if anything, living with you and Trevor would be absolutely impossible for me.
What?
As a wife to this family myself, I can understand the fears you have. But getting this out of hand over something that's never existed is a huge waste of what could have been a happy family with all of us. Which is crazy because Laura is such a nice person to us all.
What? What are you talking about, Olive? Didn't you take a look at that file I sent you? That was supposed to help you understand how awful things would be with Laura. You know dang well that living with us would be a way better time than those two. We would be able to support one another equally. And I'd even be happy to help you when you're in need.
Can you explain to me how you'd help me? Please, list off to me all the merits we'd have by living with you.
Huh? I shouldn't have to tell you all of that, right? You should already know. For example, when we both have kids of our own, we can leave them together with one of us, as the other has some time to themselves. Also, we'd be able to put all our incomes together to afford even nicer things.
In other words, you guys would be asking us to take care of your kid while you both take time to relax? I'm sorry to say that would be only a pain in the butt for my husband and I.
Huh?
You have said before to Laura that you both have a nice daughter that you want to be raised around the family, but we can tell that you guys do not do a good job raising that kid. When the kid doesn't have their way, they immediately start to get upset and cry. I have been able to meet your kid a few times, but every time we see her, she seems to get worse.
My little girl has nothing wrong with her. What's wrong with you?
Also, you said that we could all put our incomes together so that we could all afford nicer things, right? But are you actually being serious about that? I don't like it when people tell me they can do things that they obviously cannot do.
But what does that mean?
Well, in your case, you're a housewife, right? As for my husband and I, we both work full-time and make a considerable amount of money per year. But in your family, it's only Trevor that works. And I've heard from him before that you guys are already living on a fine line between making it out each month with no debt and having to borrow money.
What was that?
I can expect that Trevor would be willing to work for and help us out in the case. We did all live together, but when you don't have a job and barely attend to your own kids' needs, I'm not so sure. I even hear a lot of times from my husband that he asks for advice when dealing with you. I'm sorry, but I just don't see us being able to all fairly put in money to the house when you're not working and Trevor is barely making it by.
You have to be kidding, right?
So how else could you possibly help us? Actually, it seems that you'd only want to live with us so that you could leech off our money and time. Right now, the two of us don't have kids and we're both working great jobs that we love. You must have just been thinking that by having us around, your life would be a whole lot easier, right? You saw that we would have a whole lot of merits for you. Hence, you wanting to live with us.
You're wrong, Olive. Actually, I have been really worried about you. I've never once heard of a wife doing well for themselves after moving in with their in-laws.
I am thankful that you've been so worried about me, but it was all a waste. I have spoken with Laura at least a dozen of times about us all living together under one roof, and she was able to give me proof that her and her husband will be able to put in the same amount as we would into the house. We all saw that there would be more merit to living together. All four of us. And if there was ever any issues, we'd trust one another enough to be able to find a solution. And that's why we all decided to live together. But of course, when you choose not to trust anyone and have nothing to give to anyone, living under one roof with the in-laws would be impossible.
Even after all the work I put in to make sure that we could live in that house together. Why are you
being so harsh to me? Listen to yourself. I'm so sorry, Annabelle, but you are an absolute piece of stinky trash. Oh, I just remembered that you'll soon be a stranger to us all. Now, you shouldn't be as surprised by me being harsh to you, because you're nothing more than an extremely crazy stranger to this family.
Ugh, I don't even care anymore. If you want to talk to me like that, then go screw yourself. But if you begin to regret what you've said to me and not choosing to live with us, don't come crying to me about it. Actually, I hope Laura does harass the hell out of you for this. How could you betray me like this? I just had a horrible conversation with Trevor, and he's really going through with the divorce. And he's snatching my girl from my arms. Why do I have to endure this pain?
I don't give a damn what you say to me. You're no longer part of this family. You're less than nothing to me. Goodbye, and good riddance.
How could you be so heartless? You're my mother-in-law. You should be supporting me. He said he never wants to lay eyes on me again. You have to convince him to calm down and come back to me.
My son is very calm. He has made his mind up, and he has no use for you.
If you persuade him, I'll be good to you. I'll even come to visit you on the holidays. Please, do something.
You don't have to bother us anymore. I have my second son and his wonderful wife living with me. We'll have a blast together every holiday. And your daughter will be much happier without you. She's a bit of a rebel now, but we'll show her how to behave.
What? You're satisfied with this? You don't give a damn about me as your son's wife?
You're not his wife. You're nothing. Goodbye forever. We're moving to our new house today. We don't have time to waste on you. We moved into the new house without any trouble and are now enjoying our life as one big happy family. And Olive is a wonderful woman, just as I always knew she would be. And to show our gratitude to her, my husband and I have enrolled in training classes to keep ourselves fit and healthy for as long as we can. And with all of us looking out for each other's needs, everything is perfect here. And as for Trevor, he found a nice apartment close to us. And now that he has full custody of his daughter, they live there happily. She has improved her behavior a lot and often comes to our house by herself to have fun. We've heard that Annabelle has been desperate to see her daughter after the divorce, but her daughter always rejects her. And Trevor feels the same way. He never wants to have anything to do with Annabelle again.